For more than 4 years, our bet is on science. We believe in creating the future and generate meaningful research so we can empower innovation, challenge the status quo, choosing to inspire, and working together to think and grow knowledge. We help valorize R&D by building connections to help business environment and universities come together, add value, and reach their potential. We aim to create links and connections between research, business, and education.
Hello and welcome to the dialogue with the MSP community, an event organized by the Măgurele Science Park Association. We continue the science business education initiatives through which we develop the community and create bridges between the actors of this community. About us in brief, you already know, the association was founded in 2016 in the context of the preparation for the development of the investment project Măgurele Science Park, Scientific and Technological Park. The association has as its major objectives the development of the community and the creation of collaboration, partnership, and trust links between all interested parties in the region, such as representatives of national research development institutes, universities, research centers, entrepreneurs, small and medium enterprise, large companies, authorities, and civil society. I am Roxana Lupashcu, and I propose you the following topic for discussion today. How digitalization changes the recruitment process and what will be the impact on the human resources market with Mihai Cepoi, founder of Jobful. We'll address 3 topics: labor market, why Jobful, and challenges. I would start with the first question. Who is Mihai and what does he do?
Hey Roxana, and first and foremost, thank you for the invitation. It's great being here. I'm Mihai. I'm a computer science graduate. I used to work for large enterprises like Microsoft and SAP. And for the past 5 years, I've been working on my own business called Jobful in HR tech. On a daily basis, I think I'm doing a bit of everything as the CEO of the company, a bit of relationship with investors, a bit of sales, a bit of product management, a bit of everything.
What does the labor market looks like today? Are there different measures between the generation regarding the choice of workplace? What change await us in the future?
Well, it's a great question. I think the labor market is in a continuous change today. We know from the World Economic Forum reports on the future of jobs that a lot of jobs are being replaced by technology, by automation, basically. We know that despite being in the middle of a crisis for a couple of years now, the job market is very hot across different markets, which is different than what we know in terms of crisis. We know that I'm not sure if it's a generational change or more likely a change in our society in terms of looking at work, how we define work. I think it's easier to spot in newer generations because they have a more accelerated processes when it comes to change. But I think it's a change across our entire society. The fact that when we look at work, we're not only looking to get paid for our time, we're looking for impact, we're looking for growth, we're looking for career opportunities, we're looking for all sorts of things that in the past were simply not an option. So I think it's in a transformation, our labor market from both sides. from a jobs perspective, but also from a professionals perspective.
How did the idea of Jobful come about? For which employer profile is a solution suitable? What are the advantages of digitizing the recruitment process? And why would employers choose the Jobful solution?
Well, I think in terms of digitization, there's plenty of benefits. We know that data is the most expensive asset today. Unfortunately, in HR processes, we don't usually have that much transparency. It's just an opaque process, generally speaking, especially in talent acquisition. I think it's changing, and technology can help with that, having access to data, seeing what works, what doesn't work, being able to plan ahead. There are multiple benefits. Now, in terms of Jobful and what we do, it has to do with what I previously shared about the change in society. We have usually technology, the business components or business solutions in terms of technology, they are focused on business processes. They are designed on business processes. But when we look at talent acquisition or recruitment, we see they're still not delivering, or the figures that are delivering are far from productive, at least in my opinion. And what we've done is basically look at the other way around. Instead of focusing on the business process, focus on people and their motivators. Why would people go through the process? What would motivate them continue? If it's relevant to learn new things, or if it's relevant to prove their skills and competencies. Different functionalities, let's call them, that focus on people and how they can engage with the process, making it more attractive, instead of only the business process, which, as mentioned before, it's not delivering what we're expecting from technology.
What does gamification mean, and what does it help? Is there an opening in the Romanian market for the digitization of human resources processes? And what is the business impact of such a solution?
Well, I'll take the questions one by one.
Okay.
First and foremost, the gamification part. It's exactly what I mentioned. It's the human-focused design. It's a better definition of gamification. It's how you can look at the professional or the individual and his or her motivators in order to drive high engagement, which translates in business impact. And it's all around us. Black Friday, it's a great example. Just limiting the time using some game techniques, limiting the time, creating an offer, it just drives more engagement. And there are all sorts of examples. We're doing the same, but for the talent acquisition process in order to engage professionals. Now, in terms of the Romanian market, I think it's changing. I think not only the Romanian market, but in general, European markets and global markets are focusing more and more on human capital, on talent. I'm not sure if they realize, maybe it's not the best phrasing, but I think it's obvious for any organization that without great talent, they simply cannot deliver what they are planning. And making sure that in a market very dynamic, where more than 40% of the employees are considered job seekers, where people are moving from one job to another, making sure that they have the best people to work on their organization and on their business, I think it's key for a brighter future for any organization. So I think this trend, it's growing. I think after the pandemic, having a global workforce rather than a localized workforce, being able to work remotely, created new opportunities and new threats. And in this very dynamic market, I think sooner or later, HR will become business critical, if not already. Now, the very last question, what was it? I think about
what
the
is
business impact.
The business impact, or the big impact you take into consideration?
Yes. So I'd say first, we're looking at what is repetitive in terms of tasks and takes a lot of time from the recruitment team and can be replaced by technology. And for that, we're looking at pre-screening, which takes a lot of time, and we're using an AI system in order to generate shortlist. So recruiters can focus on the recruitment process instead of screening CVs. Secondly, the communication part. So we automate the communication part between the employer and potential candidates. And I think just having insights or where some processes are stalled or which candidates are at risk, making sure that it's in front of the recruitment team, both the opportunity and the risk, and delivering on the opportunity, I think it has a huge impact. And the way we measure it, it's in just like any other talent acquisition solution. It's conversion rates, it's time to fill, it's candidate database and their engagement or activity. So from our customer base current experience, I would say the business impact is huge.
Great. You are a young entrepreneur. What advice do you give another entrepreneur at the beginning of their journey?
Oh, well, I usually don't like to give advices, especially to young entrepreneurs.
Maybe something like tip and tricks.
Oh, yeah. Tips and tricks. I think today entrepreneurship is a bit glorified, in my opinion. And I think outside, if you're not in the entrepreneur, if you're not an entrepreneur, from outside, it seems like it's sugar and spice and everything nice. But it's not. In my personal experience, it's not. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of passion. It's a lot of motivation needed. It's a lot of focus. There's quite a lot that you need. So maybe setting the right expectations and making sure for each and every entrepreneur that they're working on something that matters for them, because sooner or later hardship will come. And if the motivation is not in the right place, I think that specific startup is set up to fail. So maybe choose something that's important when you start a business. That would be a good advice.
Which was for you the biggest mistake you already made?
I think there's plenty of
You
those.
already specify we learn from our mistakes.
Yeah. So I think there's plenty of those. Probably the way we've been growing quite at a fast pace, early stage, and then we've been hit by the pandemic. And then there has been a couple of very tough months and years. So I think one mistake or something that I should have looked with more attention would be the management of risk, the risk management part, is making sure that nobody could have predicted a global health crisis, that's for sure. But making sure that at no point of time the level of risk is too high. I think that's something that I would also advise other founders to make sure they understand the risk they're carrying in different scenarios.
Nice. We are at the end of a year that brought many changes in many areas. What challenges have you faced, and what are you preparing for 2023?
Well, I think the fact that we're close to another crisis, the war in Ukraine, brought a lot of challenges. I think the unpredictability of what's happening, the fact that there's all sorts of forecasts in the market, just mentioning that a recession could be coming if it's not already here. There's some reluctance in investing in new technology. I think it's not an ideal period for entrepreneurship. Well, it really depends how you look at it, because with crisis, there's also opportunities. And I think if we manage to demonstrate the impact that we're having in different businesses or in the market, with our solution, especially during a crisis period, it means that after the crisis passes, we're even in a better or stronger position. So I think for next year, we're closely looking at how to position our solution as crisis resilient, as cost optimization, as impactful for a business critical process, which in fact is what we're delivering today and have been delivering for the last couple of years. So for next year, we're looking for bold companies who look at the crisis and say, let's face this and let's build even a stronger business. And these are the organizations we're looking forward to work with.
What means for you Jobful in a few words?
For me, it has been the biggest change in my life for sure. It's the most impactful. It's a huge growth opportunity. In some cases, growth that I would successfully avoided otherwise. I think it's an impressive business built not only for the current situation, but built for the future, built for coming generations that are looking at the labor market or at the job market and saying, well, we want more from our career than just an employer who pays for our time. And I think this is not only a trend, this is the direction our society is going for. And I'm happy that we are part of this change and that we can make a difference.
A last thought that you want to transmit to our audience?
Oh, I don't know.
No, we are to the final of the year. Maybe something in connection with this.
So I'm not quite sure the entire audience that you're addressing this video to.
Prosperous.
For sure, all the best wishes. What I think it's important to mention is, especially after so many years or a couple of years of crisis and hardship, I think what applies to us and would like to share with others is that even though tough times have been upon us and maybe some tougher times are coming, there's always a bright side. There's always a silver lining. There's always something to look forward to. And I wish for the audience to find that something that they're looking forward to and making sure that they spend a bit of time on that specific thing every single day.
Thank you, Mihai. Thank you for participating at our discussion. We'll meet with new interlocutors and innovative ideas, I think, next year. Until then, all the best and see you soon.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
Thank you.